Camera doesn't fall. It says we're live. We're live. Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's doing well and having a good Friday and looking forward to the weekend. And the panel's all here. Dee Dee is not able to make it this early in the evening. So we checked on her, so that's where she's been. Is that a parrot? I'm hearing a parrot.
You hear Sophie in the background?
I thought I heard a parrot like noise, not very well. That's why I wasn't
She's
sure.
3 rooms away behind a door, and you could still hear her. Oh my goodness.
Yeah. People, oh, it's not bad. It's not loud. It doesn't bother me. I can hear my parakeets too. I don't know if y'all can hear them or not. Let's see.
I love the sound of parakeets.
Yeah. Every time I come back from being somewhere, they're so happy, and I brought them some stuff tonight, so they'll be happy later. Let's see, Dragon Layer's here. Susie Q's playing Dee Dee tonight. She's here, there, and everywhere. And there's Sam, Huawei. There's Jenny Lynn. I think she was the first here tonight. And Dragon Layer is filtering lard. So there you go. Who isn't? I mean, it's filtering lard right now. Lucky Stone. And that looks like, Anthony. Did I miss Anthony? Hey, Anthony. So that's everybody that's here right this minute. So we don't have a guest tonight. Hopefully we're going to have one next week. And it's, what is Jeremy's last name? Right out of my head, but he's in Texas and he's a big snake guy.
Delhorn? No.
No. He was here I think he's in Texas. Anyway, he was here a few weeks ago and he hung out with Ed at the Tennessee Aquarium. That's that guy.
Ah.
So, but I asked him a couple weeks ago and he said he and his wife were traveling and when they got back, he'd reach out to me. So I'm expecting, if not, I'll reach out to him again this week. So what does that say? Parakeet song is beautiful always, for sure. For sure. I'm tapping into my childhood making lard with my great aunt. Huh. I don't remember them making it, but I remember they always had it in a can on the stove. Always. Always, always. And it was some good food cooked in that lard. But how's everybody on the panel doing? Everybody okay?
Yeah, it's been tough cleaning out ponds, getting on my hands and knees, bending over 3 feet, scrubbing out muck. Pond life.
I cleaned out the little pond that's out back, the formed pond. I don't know. I think they said it was 500 gallons or something. It's not that big. But anyway, I cleaned that out not long after I first bought the house. It was there. And there was a big comet in it, and I was afraid that the hawks would get it because they would sit out there in the woods. I brought it in, and it died, of course. So. But it has water plants that come up every year and they bloom, so they'll be coming up soon.
I cleaned out my turtle's pond today, but I got to fill it back up again. It's just got a little bit of water in it right now. So I got to finish it.
Susie, if you fall in one of your ponds, there better be video.
What do you say?
If you fall in one of your ponds, there better be video.
Oh, no, but one of my puppies did, and I didn't help him out. It was so funny. Because the more he tried to get out, it was just slime. I was like, because I just kept thinking, I got to give him a bath now.
Patrick says, Dragon Lair says to contact Eric Burke and see if he'll come up. So
carpet python guy.
Yeah. I looked at a carpet python they had over there, but because of the size, I backed off of them. This is your favorite fish tubers, sharing their knowledge, helping fish and people. Huh. What is that? What are those? What am I saying? Oh, banners. I accidentally hit banners at the top. And I'm like, what kind of trick? What is Grasshopper doing now in the chat? But I hit banners, so I started seeing these tickers over there. And Mike was saying that he's closing in on moving in this house. They just have to get the painting done and stuff. So he's making progress with his move and stuff. So that's nice. It's great. He's got his stitches out. I'm telling all
Yes.
this news because we talked before the chat started. So and he's doing well with that. So awesome.
Now he's going to be able to show everybody his scars. He's going to be the
Right.
old man on the corner. You want to see my scars?
Nice.
Not everybody likes that because I was showing them my cat scratches, pulling my shorts up and showing them at the ark, and they're like, "We saw them already." I'm like, I thought it was cool. They're big scratches, you know. I guess so. Men think more of their scars than the general population, but it's rude. Hey, Jeff Kane, welcome. Casual aquatics. Are we talking fish or snakes? In our description, we're going to talk about snakes, and we're talking about assist feeding. Some people call it force feeding, which is pretty much, well, there really is an assist feed, and there's also a force feed. But
Is there such a thing as assist feeding fish?
I don't know. I used to when I was a kid. I've tried to do that before, like with a little pipette or a little baby dropper, and I don't recall it being successful. But that was a long time ago.
Okay.
I don't know. Has anybody ever force fed their fish? I don't remember.
No.
I used to do all kinds of procedures on my fish. Only good things. I mean, not torture.
But I did have to kind of force feed my my second skink, Azure, because when I bought him knowing that he was full of mouth rot and dehydrated.
Yeah.
So soaking him and giving him the injections. He still, I knew it was sore. So like, went back to kitten pate, something that was real soft, and I literally had to put it in his mouth because he wasn't eating at all because I knew it hurt him. Now he eats like a pig.
When you put it in, would he swallow it?
Yes.
So that really was assist feeding.
Yeah.
If he hadn't swallowed, you would have, and you had to stuff it back in his throat. That's force feeding.
No, I kind of did that. Like I used to do that with the Alzheimer patients. I kind of just like went like that, and he did. He swallowed it.
That's what you do with cats too.
Is it?
Yeah, you stick the food on in the fork of their tongue, and then you hold their mouth shut and rub their neck until they swallow.
When you said the Alzheimer's patients, I was getting
When you give them pills.
I was getting my best jabs ready about Pam, and then she said, "That's how you," and I thought she was going to say feed Bob. And I thought, dang it.
No, I was thinking of cats. When you give cats pills, cats don't like pills, so you have to kind of stick the pill on the back part of their tongue and hold their mouth shut and like tip their head up and rub their neck until they swallow.
We've got a couple of new, really awesome volunteers, but they're real young, and parents do that stuff when you're a kid at the Ark, and one of them's 17, so I'm teaching some of that stuff about how to give medicines, and so because they're all on antibiotics right now.
I wish I did have a big syringe or something that I could have bypassed the sore part of his mouth, but I didn't have that. That's what Dragonlair was saying he used, like a tube.
Yeah. I've got like it's a feeding tube kind of thing, and I've also got a peritoneal dialysis syringe. I've saved those things forever. I've had them forever, but they're really good for like force feeding things.
Okay.
Anything. Yeah. So he's done it. What about the snakes, Dragonlair? Have you ever force fed or assist fed? And how about you, Casual? Have you ever assist fed? You use dehydrated food that I rehydrate and grind their peels into the food. It works amazingly. For dogs and cats. That's a good tip. Honestly, if they have lost the will to eat, they're normally not in
That's
the
my
will.
coffee. You don't need to be getting into my coffee.
Jeff, are you talking about reptiles or fish? Just curious. I used to have a big, the syringe. Okay.
Right.
It's a topic people are definitely interested in. Well, as far as doing it, I had not done it, but one of my, some of you might remember or know that I did videos on it, my G-stripe ball python, and I used to carry her around, and she was just fine. She ate. She's from PetSmart, a really nice snake to get from there, but she just stopped eating, and so I researched it because she was getting pretty gaunt, and so I just did it. I watched the videos about it, like 4 or 5 different people, and the one I felt most comfortable with is the one that I tried to do exactly like watching the video while he was doing it, and doing the same thing. And he used a pencil with a large eraser, on the eraser end of it, like one of those you stick on, and to nudge the mouse on down. They'll open their mouth, and that one also was the first time I got bit by one of them, but she really didn't bite. It was just her. I wasn't careful of her tooth. So that was my first time to feed, and once she got it down, it stayed.
I gotta go see what's wrong with the Sophie. She's
okay.
Screaming.
I thought she had gas. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's been my experience too, Jeff. It's really hard to get them to eat when they stop. Now, I have had fish several times, and recently I had a Sevrum that was blind. Well, it's been 2 or 3 years since she passed, but she was old and she was real big, and I would feed her with the syringe.
No, that's good.
She okay?
Yeah, she's. I think she was mad at the puppies because who knows why. The puppies are in a crate right next to her. They're in separate crates right next to her, and she sometimes gets angry with them.
She's probably bossing them, telling them what they need to be doing.
And I'm on skates, so I had to go skate out there.
That's what Dragon Lair just said that you had on your skates. I didn't notice you were skating. But we were just saying that it seems like when fish won't eat anymore, they won't eat anymore, as far as following up about the, force feeding them. And I was saying I've had blind fish that I've fed before by hand, but they still wanted to eat. I've held like large krill or a syringe with stuff, and, I've done that several times. But that's not, I guess it is a form of assist feeding if they're blind, but you're not actually doing anything but putting the food there at their mouth.
So can I ask, when do you know, because I've heard so much about snakes sometimes go a while without eating. How do you know when to assist feed and when to just let it go?
Well, from what I read, if you can see, some people say to give them, like 2 or 3 months, but I think you got to look at what the snake is and what its health's like and its age. And Mike and I were talking, I think, before you and Pam came in about the newborns or the real small young juveniles. The only one I've lost that I was assist feeding, I've done three different snakes, and about to do another one of those 3 again tonight.
Okay.
But I had a little corn snake, and it ate when it first came once, and then it wouldn't eat. And they're so tiny, they're like a puppy or something. You can't let them not eat and drink, and they've got to eat. So after maybe 2 weeks, I went ahead and I got the tiniest pinky I could find in my stock and got it down. It wasn't easy, and it perked up for a week or 2, and then it wouldn't eat again. So I was talking to, it may have been a guest on here, because I was talking to him, and it was one of the ball python guys that we had, the guy that was a magician or something, or maybe you know who I'm talking about. What is his name? He's a magician or something there in California. But anyway, he, I think it was him, he said to use the larger mice and chop their tails into sections. And so I did that, but it wouldn't stay down. So it was all downhill from there. So I did lose that one. But now a larger snake, I think you can let it go as long as it's got some weight on it, to lose. And are they drinking too? Or are they just, drinking and not eating? So
Casual Aquatics has a separate question.
does anyone know if millipedes can go in your boa active enclosure as a cleanup crew? I don't know, but I would say if they're not toxic or they don't feed on snakes, like that's what I would say. Because they
Yeah,
may bite
I
them.
know a lot of people keep millipedes as pets, but I don't, and so they'd be fine in a bioactive enclosure. I just don't know if they'd be a part of a cleanup crew. Does somebody in the
Yeah.
chat know if they are detritivores? Is that what that's called? Detritivores? Or did I just make that up?
I like it.
Hey, Daniel.
I like that one. Hey, Daniel.
I don't know
No.
what do millipedes eat.
I don't know.
I don't either. Now I'm curious. I got to look it up.
Anthony says he's currently exploring that ideal too. It's got a ton of isopods. Now I've got isopods, and you know, the other day I hadn't seen my isopods where they usually are in my corn snake enclosure right here, and I was like, well, I guess I've lost them.
It says that
Go ahead.
it says that they feed on decomposing organic matter such as leaf litter and dead wood.
So just like isopods, pretty much.
So I don't see why they wouldn't be able to go into an enclosure.
Isopods also eat protein stuff, like I feed them my snake sheds and stuff like that. But anyway, my whatever they are, the pale blue or pale pinks, I could never remember until I see them. There's a ton of them in here. I saw some of them come out when I was spritzing, and so I flipped that piece of wood, and I bet there's 100 of them under there. So they're doing awesome in here, and they're in with the snakes. So I guess they just don't crunch up or something when the snakes get on.
Speaking of isopods, I was really tempted today. I was cleaning out the turtles enclosure from the outside, even though they've been inside all winter, and they have a pool inside their enclosure. So I removed the pool or pond, and there was hundreds of isopods, and I was so tempted to grab them and use them. I guess I don't see the downside of using wild isopods in my bioactive enclosure if I'm going to take the turtles out of their home and put them in there anyway. Like I don't, and I get it. Like I guess I don't. I'm confused on this issue right now.
Do you have isopods with the turtles inside?
The tortoises that are in bioactive enclosures, yes.
I wonder if the wild ones would have anything that would infect your time, your ones you're using inside. Wonder about that. I don't know. Good question.
Because I'm telling you, there was hundreds. I was like, oh man. Three, just sitting there.
Anthony's collecting wolf spiders. Keep all those over there.
Oh yeah, you can keep them. You can collect away, mister, because there's no way I want them.
Dragon Lair has a bunch of native isopods with his lizards.
Oh, okay.
I'm going
I guess I hear so much flack about it online, which goes along with the assist feed, which also goes along with so many different things people talk about pets. And as a new venture that I go on, it's hard to determine what is just, like better fish can't live here, better fish can't do that, those kind of people, versus I want reality here, like I want reality.
Yeah, unfortunately, there are people too. Not a lot of them that they know about everything, and they're going to say whatever pops in their head. And so
Right.
I had to call somebody out about that not too long ago about chameleons, and he hadn't been back, but too bad, so sad. He was quoting somebody else, and what he was saying was wrong. It was totally wrong. So I try to keep my mouth shut when I don't know something, and that's a lot of the time, most of the time, in fact. So, but I do like to ask people in the chat and on the panel, what's your experience and what do you know about that?
Right.
I almost feel like you have to have experience or have researched something to really give accurate information. I don't know.
Well, I'm thinking about harvesting or grabbing those isopods and starting their own enclosure. But I don't, just to see if I can see if something happens with them,
Right.
But they'd probably be fine because they're not intermixing with anybody else. So I don't know.
So mainly,
I just hate to waste that resource that's right there in my backyard.
yeah. I know what you mean. They're always in my plants, my potted, vegetables and stuff on the driveway. I move those around sometime as the season progresses, and they're always under the pots and
Yeah.
under red velvet jumping spider. Yeah, that sounds like something.
Ooh.
I bet they're cute.
A red velvet jumping spider sounds about as attractive as another spider kicking hairs.
Mm.
I'll never forget that guy describing the spiders and kicking the hair. I was like,
throwing their hair. Yeah. It's just,
ugh.
ugh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was nasty. Scary. I would use the wild isopods for animals you normally keep outside. I'd be weary using isopods with leopard gecko or animals that are bred as pretty pets.
That makes sense.
Turtles are always stronger.
Yeah, because my turtles eat anything. They eat anything and everything. Where my leopard geckos are more pampered. Not pampered, but
I've seen that jumping spider.
they never go outside. They're never living outside in a cage.
Yeah, mine either. Mine sure settled down and made themselves homes after they came here. I didn't, they were kind of like rescues they were given to me. And boy, they know the routine and they expect this and that, and they're pretty cute. But it's taken up 3 snake habitats is the way I look at it. But they got to have a place. They got to have a place, right? But us animals that don't eat the bugs, why would that be a problem?
I don't think I have any animals that don't eat bugs. Just my uromastics. And I think that enclosure would just burn up the isopods.
I may be wrong, but I'm thinking what Lucky's meaning or saying is that since they haven't been raised or bred to eat wild isopods, they may have something that they're not immune to, or that they're not used to digesting. Okay. I may be wrong, but I think that's his point.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, we need to get Wally back to do part 2 on his isopod side. So.
I know it. That would be great. You want me to ask him? I will ask him. I haven't been hanging out in his, and what is her name? I always say hi to her by name, but her name escapes me. His wife's always on. I haven't been over there in a while, so I'll get over there and ask him. With Bob's permission, I'd like to ask y'all to check out. Jesus, I can't read even with bifocals.
Oh, he wants to check out and critique his new reptile channel, Casual Reptiles.
Oh yeah, I've been following him, and he posts stuff too. In no, that's not who I thought it was. Blind. I thought that was Casual, or is it? Did it jump on me?
It is Casual.
Okay, it jumped on me. All right. Yeah, I've been following it. So
I am subscribing right now, and is this a channel we might want to interview?
Well, he's the one that I sent you the message that I sicked on you to maybe if he wanted to talk about enclosures that you had built your own.
Okay.
He was building an enclosure that was maybe a month ago. So he's the one that I said, I don't know anything about building them, but this lady does. And so maybe, I know he's got a ball
that would be fun.
He's got a ball python, so that might be a good thing to have on. He did a 3-part video on building.
I see it now, yeah.
It's a baby. It's a young one.
Oh.
But he's a fish keeper, so he's one that's...
So that would be a perfect fit.
Yep.
See if he's got a Friday open.
All right. Are you up for that, Casual? We don't put any pressure on anybody. So can you do it or not? What day can you come?
Yep.
I've still got to get with Tommy Boy, Silver Creek Aquatics about Sunday night.
Tanner Stainbrook is all about isopods and other types of bugs. He'd be a good person to have on here. He sure would. Whether they're to eat or the cleanup crew or just to aerate your soil. The millipedes would probably be very good to aerate your soil too, or your substrate.
Oh yeah, like you says, pet quality lizards' immune systems are not great. Okay. And turtles are just living tanks. So there you go. I'll get with you, Casual. I know his name, but I'm always reluctant to holler everybody's name out unless they want it thrown around.
Yeah.
I used to use Pam's name, but her stage name, Lucky Stone. Okay, so you're getting some subscribers. Awesome.
Good.
Has anybody else, Pam, have you ever had to assist feed a reptile?
Nope.
Or no?
Nope.
Huh. I've kind of made that part of my criteria, like when I went to the Repticon 2 weeks ago or whatever. Anyway, the snake that I'd settled on and looked at a lot of them, I wanted to bring back a nice breeder with just a couple of sets of genes that I could breed, this nice one that's got all these nice things in it, because he's breeding age and he's ready. He's raring to go. So she is too. But then right at the end, he said, well, she eats live. And I'm like, oh, man, that's a deal breaker. And he said, oh, she gets hungry. She'll eat, frozen thawed. Well, she hadn't got hungry enough yet, because I tried her when she first got home and she didn't. And I tried her about a week after that. So she's number 2 on the assist feed list if she doesn't eat. It's actually those 2 that I want to mate that are not eating. So they got to be in good condition, Tanner is a PetSmart manager. Oh, okay. His wife do isopods. Well, we definitely need to get him on too.
Yeah.
There's some great guest suggestions. Yeah. Oh, when they do reptile shows. The name sounds familiar to me too. Maybe subscribe to him. How are your snakes doing, Mike, with the move? And I know you don't have most of them there, but I'm sure you're checking on them.
Yeah, I don't have any of them with me, but from what I hear, they're all doing good.
Good. Good. I know you'll be glad to get everything settled.
Yeah.
What about your new chameleon? Didn't you get a baby?
I've got him here with me.
Oh, okay. Good deal. I'm up to 13 different isopods.
Nice.
Don't you collect them too, Susie?
My isopods, I don't collect different species. I get isopods all the time, and I'm currently needing another 100 easy, because I have so many enclosures, and now I'm turning them all into bioactive. And it's kind of hard to do without a cleanup crew, which is why I was so tempted to grab the ones from outside.
Right.
So I don't literally collect them as I got the rubber duck, I got the dairy cow, I got this, that. I don't care what they are, as long as they're going to eat the poop.
I still have one culture of them. The powder orange is what I have. I had 2 cultures of these, and I put one in the corn snakes maybe a month ago. These guys are fine in here still. I've spritzed it every now and then, and they're fine in here. There's a lot of babies. Apparently that's one of the easier ones to keep. You have powder orange?
Wow.
This has those moisture balls or whatever in the bottom too. It helps a lot.
I've used those a couple times. I used to breed isopods until I built these enclosures, and they're so dang big that it's really hard keeping them. First of all, with the bearded dragons, because they love to dig and find them. So, and it's like you can't satiate their appetites. They just eat. I think they would eat till they explode if they could.
I'm seeing more and more of the darkling beetles. So, and I'm not sure why there's so many of those wonder worms or whatever they were. Their larvae got in there. I don't remember putting all those in. but I sure have a lot of the beetles. And they don't bother anything. They eat everything. I mean, anything that's, I don't see them pinching the snakes. The snakes ignore them. I don't know if they eat the isopods or not, but if they're not making a dent in them, if they do. Cool. I'm watching Tibby's about to, have cats. We know you don't have cats. You just have the one, Susie.
I just have one kitten. Yes.
I always have cats that are working on, well, I don't want to move that are working on top of the enclosures because they like the light that comes out or the heat from the heat pad down beneath. And none of the reptiles seem stressed out or mind them. Sometimes they stare at each other, but as long as they don't bother anything and just lay there.
Yeah, she sleeps up there on that one. I had to put extra support on the screening because I was afraid her paw was going to push through the screening.
Yeah.
But she loves those lights, man. She just sits on there and bakes away.
Yeah.
My crested gecko doesn't care. Doesn't pay any attention to the cat at all.
Ivy just came across the ball pythons and then the giant, whatever those are, crimson geckos, and now he's going across the agamas. And now the chameleon and out of the room. He hit all those enclosures on top.
Do any snakes eat bugs?
Yes.
They do?
Yes. Oh, I thought that was a question out there.
Well, he was saying it. That sparked my question. I didn't think, because I don't know too much about snakes, I didn't think any snakes ate bugs.
There are some snakes, I'm sure Patrick might know, or Pam too, that eat, and people that are starting to herp right now. I follow several of the herpers and herp through them vicariously. But some kind of little, I don't know if it's called a mud snake, but they're real small, like the garter snakes or even smaller, and they eat snails and slugs and any kind of little bug like that. So they're just a little trash snake. So you have to have bugs for them. They can't eat mice and stuff. They're too small. Can't remember what they are though. It's not a worm snake. There are worm snakes that are invasive and they're everywhere. But
I agree with Huawei.
Just say,
Patrick.
By the time I can read through it, it's gone. I know a guy that would be excellent for reptiles. He came. His name is Patrick. Yeah, me too. I know him too.
Pronounced Patrick.
Pronounced Patrick.
I've never seen him. Where do you guys know him from?
He collected some wild isopods. They don't eat bugs. Yeah, they'd be safe to put in there. Yeah, I would say yes. I wouldn't think. In fact, I know that I have some wild isopods in the tank where those two ball pythons are, because I did clean it out, but I didn't clean it enough to break the bioactive cycle in it. When I lost Nelson, I got the ball pythons in there, and every now and then I'll still see some of the wild roly-polies in there from my driveway. So, and
yeah, I'm sure they would do a great cleanup for snakes, huh?
yeah, they never notice it, and there are also beetles in there. That's why I haven't put any of the ones I had to buy in there. I remember now. Yeah.
So if you made a bioactive enclosure for snakes, would you put like a deep water in that, like its own little pond?
I always keep water in my snakes. Always,
Okay.
Anyway. Yeah. The only thing I don't keep standing water in at all are my agamas, because they won't drink it. But since they learn that water runs down the side of the tank or drips from the top, they're crazy about water. But they went months without drinking water. I don't know how they survived. I guess the bugs. But yeah, I don't keep water standing for them at all. All my snakes have water, and I try to give them fresh water every day. I go around with a bucket and pour their water out, and then use like a damp I've got a thing of paper towels and just use a damp, clean paper towel for each bowl and wipe it and then put water in it. Some of the snakes won't drink water. Do yours do that, Mike? They won't drink water if it's been sitting there a day or two. They won't touch it. It's got to be fresh.
Even if it had like a little fountain in it or filter?
I don't know. I hadn't thought of that. Most of them wouldn't be big enough for that, but now that the Brazilian rainbow might, but it won't drink water that's over 2 days old. I've got to change hers tonight too, and that's no small feat to go in there with that snake. So
okay, yeah,
I've got to change hers, and she won't soak in her water either. So they're finicky. They won't put fresh water. They won't clean water. My house snake won't drink water either if it's more than a couple of days old. Won't touch it. Weird.
Now I do have a red wiggler farm. I'm curious. Somebody was saying you could put earthworms in. I know the earthworms, let's say your substrate's this big, the earthworms would be on the bottom eating, where my red wigglers would be closer to the top, so I don't know if they'd be a good candidate. I never thought about that in a bioactive enclosure, keeping them in there.
I don't know.
What are you doing? What are you doing?
That's not a bad idea. Like, especially in my skinks where it's a little more moist, and
Right.
they'd probably help out eating the leftover lettuce they don't eat.
Oh, for
Even though
sure.
I keep trying to give it to them.
They were, yeah. Yeah, I finally gave up on that completely.
Yeah.
To be honest, they won't drink water and they won't eat any vegetables.
No.
Nothing. Nope. I thought maybe when I started keeping real plants, they might munch on those. They don't touch those either. All they want is insects and some water drizzling down the side of the tank, and they're happy. Yeah, green snakes, rough and smooth. Dragon Lair says they eat insects, and that's true because they have them. I've noticed on underground reptiles, and they're very inexpensive, like $15 a snake. So you could just get crickets and wonder worms and stuff, I guess. So that's another one that just eats bugs.
Oh, airstone. That's a good idea too. An airstone.
You better be good because Bob's snakes will eat you because you bug. You bug.
Oh my God! I had to take pictures of how many I had the double clamps on the Brazilian rainbow boa because it is strong. The only interaction with it's strong. But one of the ladies at the Ark was crying about it when I was talking about her, and she's like, "You have those little dogs," and so I had to take a video of the outside and say, "You can't." And with me pulling hard, it can't get out of there. What if you forget? I guess it'll eat the dogs. Use a small airstone.
That's a good idea.
I might try that, especially with her. The only thing is, I want the lid down tight, so I don't know about getting the hose in there, I'll see. I'll explore that idea.
I got to warn you guys, my phone battery, which is what I'm on, is giving me these warning signs.
What's it warning?
My battery's about to die.
All right.
Although there are a few warnings for the Apple phone. And I realized it was right in front of my heater and it said phone too hot.
Yeah.
It's got to shut down or something. I'm like, oh, damn.
Yep. Yeah, mine was charging once and it got too hot. Well, we've got about 15 minutes, it looks like, anyway. So we probably won't be on here that much longer. Mike, did you want to say anything about it or have any thoughts or anything?
No, not really. I've been thinking a lot lately about getting the cherry head tortoise.
Oh,
Those are pretty.
they are. I've got 3 redfoots.
Is that the same?
Yeah, the cherry head are just one of the redfoots that's from a different region.
Oh, okay.
Yep.
And when was it, last week or a week before, we learned that they come in the yellowfoots too, or golden foots, the redfoots too. Dragon Lair was talking about that.
Yeah.
Yep.
Got a question here. Susie, do you feed your pond at all during the winter? No. I mean, whatever happens to crawl in there or fly in there, that's one thing because I only have a net over it. But I think in the fall I start feeding more of a wheat based, and then I taper it down because everything in my pond hibernates or brumates or whatever. I got the 3 turtles and all those koi, and there's some goldfish. I think the mosquito fish even sleep too. I don't ever see them swimming around. So now I haven't even started, even though they're started to wake up, I haven't started feeding them yet.
Oh, that's a good idea, Dragon Lair. Yeah, her bowl's big enough, and I'm looking at this other bowl. It's actually for that pretty litter. You guys have heard of that. Somebody may use it. The vet has us using it for the cats at the ARC to diagnose something, and one of the first 2 cats we used it with has some blood in its urine. Just bam, because off the pH and stuff. So we know that's one that's going to be going to the vet next week. But there's a pretty litter bowl that you can get. It doesn't have a lid or anything on it. It's $40, and I'm thinking that's just a great big bowl, but all those kind of planters and stuff are expensive. I would love to have that for my Brazilian rainbow boa in there, you know,
Yeah.
a little fountain in there. But we'll see. I'll try that. That's a good idea. I always get good ideas on here, I'm telling you. Dragon Lair guy is just an encyclopedia. It really is.
All right.
It really is. Really is, and on multiple topics as well. So
Yeah, we've asked him several times to be on, but
I know I've got a different strategy. He's probably doesn't want to come on because he doesn't know anything about snakes or reptiles. If that works. He just doesn't know anything. I wonder if an electric can't water bow for those snakes.
What is that electric cat water bowl? I have a gravity fed water bowl for my cat, but what is an electric one?
We had a fountain in the cat room at the ARC recently, but they kept splashing the water out of it like they do their gravity one, and then the motor would be grinding when we come in the morning, so they burn it up finally.
Oh, you could give my cats all the different water dishes you want, and they're going to drink out of the turtle's tank.
Where are the pacu? Are they not back there? They're in there. They're in there. There should be one in each corner on the other side of the tank, like toward the bottom. Yeah, there's. Isn't that one right there?
Oh, look at that. Woo. And he's too afraid to click on the link to schedule a time. Ooh. Oh, no, you didn't.
Well, we'll see. This just got into. Anybody want to place any bets here?
I would love to have a conversation, not just reading the chat with Patrick. I would love that.
Yeah, we could get so much information. I know he's afraid we'll ask him to come back 2 and 3 and 4 times. You know? I've been looking at some of Sarah's shorts that she's done from her videos, Sarah's Snake Shop, and I go back and listen to them 2 or 3 times, and I'm like, there's so much information and knowledge in 1 minute, you know?
That's cool, though.
It is. She really is super knowledgeable. She really is. And
There's
Jeanette,
a lot of people out there that actually build their whole channel off of the 1 minute shorts and tutorials.
Yep. Yeah. And hers is just about corn snakes. I mean,
Yeah.
not just, but just that topic.
This dog is so vicious.
I can tell. I've got one behind me. It's probably worm, you know, behind me. Can't lean back.
Oh, look at her. She's attacking me.
For kicking her all the time, Pam. You kick her.
Huh?
You kick her all the time.
Why do you kick her, Pam?
You should be on late night, Susie, and she screams all the time. Miss Pam's kicking her under there.
Well, she's just
Well,
vicious. She's mean, so you got to kick her once in a while.
I can tell she's scared of you. Let
Yeah.
me figure out how I can do it, and show my reptiles off as it warms up. Enough I can do it. Ooh, outside.
Yeah.
Screenshot that. Screenshot that.
Yep. Well, that sounds like a commitment to me.
Does me too. Yeah, awesome. That'll be great. And
Hey, Lady R.
He's in.
Hello.
Lady R, howdy. He's in Alabama, South Alabama. So
Oh, sweet home, Alabama.
That won't be long. So sorry I'm late. Lady R, I did a video about the ball pythons, and they were out, and I said, I hope you saw it. It was after the last stream where you said that, how are they? So they were out there that night, and I did like a 2-minute video on them, and I said, I hope you see this. And they're not out now. It's too early for those guys. I think it's so cute how some people will not keep more than one snake together, and you know, I know you're not supposed to, but those two, I had to put them in the same enclosure, and they're just so like bonded. I mean, I know that's crazy, but it's just two little ball pythons. They sleep together. One comes out, the other comes out.
Is it a male and female?
It is, but I don't think they know that yet. I mean, they're just babies, you know. They're neither one of them's a year old yet. They're like 6 months old. So.
Hello, George RB3.
Hey, George. Howdy, howdy. You need to be following Why Are We Always Yelling Around George. He's got some cool jokes, and he hadn't shared any today, but...
Yes, she did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did.
I missed it.
There's a couple up there.
I'll have to go back.
The one I thought was funny is they've got a cure for kleptomania. They got a pill for it.
They are good.
That just made me laugh.
That is a good one. He always has a couple. So I'll have to go back and see.
Yeah, I thought that was funny.
Oh, good. Okay, yeah, it's only like 2 videos back, so, and it's just me rambling, you know, showing them. So, but it's not long, not much to endure, but they're good shots of them.
Hello, Foxy. Foxy.
Yeah. I had her and Dee Dee on, I think it was last night. Yeah, I had them on in the background. I was doing something else. And on my phone now, YouTube, I guess everybody could do that. And maybe you can put it up in the corner and have the sound in a small picture and be doing any other program. So whatever I was working on, eavesdropping on them at the same time. So yeah, pretty cool. Pretty cool. Now, I don't want to leave with all these new people coming in, but I was being nice, but I was nice not groaning with those jokes. Oh, I know, Dragon Lair. They make you kind of want to say, because it gets you, you know. You never think the punchline's going to be what it is. So I haven't heard any of them so far, so it's a good source. You're making them all up, right, as you go, Huawei? Hilfer. Well, all right, guys. I guess we should get off here and everybody get on.
Patty, hello.
Patty, there's Patty.
Hey, Patty.
Susie, Mike.
No, I wasn't talking to you. I was not talking to you.
Patty commented.
No, I wasn't talking to you.
Oh, the Jaguar. I meant to bring that up because I did it in last live stream. I haven't fizzed her yet. I was calling it venting, but it's really not. Venting's looking at their hootie hogs to see if they're a boy or a girl. Fizzing, sticking the needle in. Fishermen fizz them all the time that, you know, pull fish up from the deep. But I'm all ready, and last night I did a build-up video like a part 1, and I've got all of my stuff ready, got it all laid out, and I'm going to use a 3cc syringe attached to a 22 gauge needle. It's a 3/4 inch needle, because that's all I could find. Stuff from the vet, you know. And I'm going to tap her, but I was trying to figure out how to hold her because she's a big fish, and I'm going to use a lid that I'm not using on one of the reptile tanks, one of the mesh lids, and put that over her. But I'm going to have her laying on dampened paper towels, and then them kind of folded over her, and then lay the lid on her, and then I'm going to stick right through the lid. So if she flops, she won't go anywhere. I couldn't figure out any other way to hold her, you know. So cross your fingers for her. She's a beautiful fish. This is kind of a last ditch effort.
I got some great grandbaby axolotls. Yeah, I'm so
Really?
happy.
Great,
They're beautiful.
great grandbabies.
Yep.
Wow.
I sent some eggs a while back to Foxy, and they had babies, and the babies had babies, and the babies, babies.
Dee Dee's got twin axolotls she's been posting about. I think it was Dee Dee. Patty, the only way I could anesthetize her is to put her in some clove. And with her size, I would be afraid to. This is a foot-long fish. She's a big fish. She's a trout. You know, she's big and she's tall and she's thick. So I would be afraid to do it as long as I would have to get her under. I'm planning on only having her out of the water at the most 2 minutes, at the most, hopefully under that. And most of that's going to be just be moving her and getting her placed and covered and all that. So
If she's that big, I think tartar sauce would work pretty well.
Pam, I'm going to block you, Pam, right now. No, she's our baby. She came from Ginger. That's Ginger Grape's fish. But she had to get rid of tanks and fish. It's Ginger. Oh my God, Pam, I haven't told Ed yet about running into that tank and breaking it that I gave him. Maybe he's lurking and he'll hear it. I sure did, a 125-gallon tank. Because my truck's in the shop and I got a rental car and I misjudged. I actually hit the corner of the cabinet that it's sitting on, and then the tank fell when the cabinet fell. So that was really Ed's tank, but he'll forgive me. I hope. All right. Yeah, Patty was encouraging me last night, telling me that she knew I could do it and all that. So thanks for the encouragement, Patty. All right. Anything else, everybody? Anybody? Well, we made some good progress. We got some speakers, and we got Patrick committed, and I know that he's brave any time down there. So
Sounds good to me.
Me too. I can't wait because there's going to be so much information. All right. Okay. Thanks, everybody. Mike, let us know how you're doing. If you move, let us know. Pam, be nice. Susie, get your phone charged up.
Yep.
Trying to give some grandfather advice to everybody. And say good night, Bob. Good night, Bob.
Good night, Bob.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Huawei, for all the links.